Alright, good afternoon. Welcome to my fishing video. Leonard TN Fishing. Welcome to the video. We're going to be fishing out here on Fort Loudon Lake today for a little bit. Beautiful Fort Loudon Lake. Pretty much got it all to ourselves today. It's about 52 degrees. Sunday afternoon, December, forget the date, 6th maybe. Anyways, early December, Sunday afternoon, 52 degrees, beautiful day, calm, light wind. Wouldn't mind having a little bit of wind on the water there. A little bit of disturbance on top seems to help them crappie come up a little bit more shallow. But anyways, we're going to start off with this little. Hadn't fished this here recently, but it's a little kind of a little greenish chartreuse colored curly tail grub, about a 1/32 of an ounce head there. We're just going to start with this for a minute, see if there's anything out here. I'm just going to throw it out here, bring it back real slow, just to kind of get an idea if there's anything out there before I go to my little hand-tied jig there. But usually what I'll do is just kind of throw it out there and just start easing it back real slow, just enough to get that curly tail going. And it's pretty shallow back in here, so kind of have to adjust the depth a little bit. A little rocky point right here. I can get it out there far enough. I think I got a pretty good chance of catching a fish here. This float has a little bit of weight to it, but it's not weighted as much as my other floats I've been using, so it won't go out quite as far. As you can see, we're just easing it back real slow. The water's getting cold, they're slowing down a bit. You know, they're going to want a fairly slow presentation, I think. So we're going to work this point here. So far nothing going on. I moved back up bank a little bit to my usual spot here. I'm going to throw this little curly tail out for just a minute and see what happens. Alright, we got hooked up something here finally. I think we got a little crappie. Pretty sure we got a crappie, just can't tell how big he is. Seems like it's probably a keeper. Took a while to catch one, kind of slow out here right now, but that's good. Now that I know they're out here. Pretty sure that'll be a keeper. Oh yeah. That's a decent crappie right there. He's definitely a keeper. He's not a giant, but he's big enough right there, so we'll put him on a stringer. That's a nice one. Ain't no doubt about it. That's a nice one right there. I'm on that blue jig. I'd say he's probably about 10.5 inches long. Probably about 10.5 inches long, I'd say. Something like that. There we go. Alright folks, we got one here. I've never got the camera turned on here, but that's a pretty good one. We went back to our little curly tail grub right there. Little white curly tail with a white head. Got him there. He's a nice one. I think he's big enough to keep, maybe. Let's see here. Yeah, he's pretty close there. I'm going to turn him loose. I think he's just a little bit too close for comfort. I'm going to turn him loose right there. Alright, little buddy. if we can't catch us another one here. Alright, there we got us another one. Ain't much size to him here. That's number 3 though. Barely hooked right there. That's it, number 3. Decent sized fish. There you go. Back to the depths. Alright folks, we got us another one right here. Fishing on this little curly tail. There we got us another one there. About 10 inches I'd say. Probably just barely big enough to keep, but we're going to turn it loose there. I think that's crappie number 4, I believe. Got this one on a white curly tail. Fishing under a float. Reeling it in real slow. Fishing about 4 feet, I'd say. It's the depth under the float. We got that one, about number 4 there. We're going to turn him loose right here. There you go. There he goes. Right across that stump. See that big log right there in the water? He went across right there. And when the water's a little deeper, that would be a prime spot for a crappie right there. If you can imagine that log right there being out there about where I'm getting ready to throw right now. That would hold a crappie out there, and that's what's out there. There's little logs, little limbs, trees, mostly little stumps I'd say, old pieces of brush, old tires, rocks, old cinder blocks, whatever little piece of structure out there happens to be in the depth that they like, they'll hang out on it right there. And that's the key to catching them, is finding those little pieces of structure and little isolated pieces of structure up and down through here, because you can come back to them over and over, sometimes for years and years. Same little stump will hold fish year after year there. Alright folks, we're still out here. Boy, we had a good one on right there a minute ago. Couldn't get this camera to cooperate, so we lost it right at the bank, but it was a good one though. So anyways, we're going to keep on fishing here. I'm back on this little blue jig here for a minute. Had that big one on that white curly tail, so we're going to go back and forth here between this jig and the curly tail. See if we can't pick one up here. Alright, we got one here folks. Hopefully we won't let this one get off like we did that last one. Let's see what we got here. That's a crappie. That may be a decent little crappie. Let's see. Well, I think that's a keeper. Yeah, that's a little small for a keeper right there. He's close. He's probably 9.5 incher. Got him on that little white curly tail grub right there. I found several of them kind of stacked up in one spot out there right now. That's where I had that big one on a few minutes ago. So we're going to get back out there and see if we can't catch us another one here. Alright, we got one here. Not sure how big he is. He ain't that big. I thought he was a little bit bigger than that, but he's a little one. Slowing down here a little bit, not getting too many bites. Wind's changed up, picked up a lot. Anyways, there's a little one. It's 5 or 6 we've caught. I don't know how many we've caught. Quite a few little ones today. A couple of decent keeper ones. Alright, got another one here folks. This one feels like it might be a little bit better. Slightly better. A little bit bigger, not a lot. That's another one though. That's a decent. He's almost a keeper, not quite though. I'd say he's marginal, but hey, found a little nest of them out there. 3 or 4 out of the same little spot. So there you go. Catching a few today. Turn him loose and see if we can't get another one. There you go, little buddy. Get on back out there. There you go. Alright, we We got one here, folks. Not that far out. Pretty good one though, I think. I think this one's been hitting me quite a bit there. Yeah, that's a keeper right there, I think. Not a real big one, but it's a keeper though. That's the second keeper we got, so I think I'll put him on a stringer. Out here, losing our sun, so it's getting a little chilly out here. Kind of slow today, really. I mean, I've caught quite a few, but no real big ones. That's really the only second decent keeper one that I've had right there. So, all right, well, we got another one here. I don't think he's all that big. He's almost a keeper there. He ain't all that big. That's about 5, 6, 7 crappie, maybe 8 we've caught today, quite a few. I think we'll turn him loose here. We can get him loose here. There we go. We can't turn him loose. Probably barely a keeper. We'll turn him loose though. There he goes. Back to the depth. My curly tail came off. Got him on this little curly tail right here. Alright, folks. Got a little skipjack here. Whoa. Got hooked up a little skipjack here. Oh, that's a nice one. Good Lord. That's a good one here. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that is a hefty skipjack right there. That's probably a 2-pounder.